Hello and welcome, it's me, Marls44, and I'm back with another Cray Online, Cardfight Vanguard Cray Online deck profile. You know what, I found out these deck profiles always take so long, but you know why? That's because I have explaining to do, and yeah, I want to make sure you guys understand why I play them the way I do, and why they are so good this way. So anyways, today we got, the one and only Eternal Idol Pacifica deck profile. So yeah, are you guys ready for this? Because yeah, of course, actually I forgot to mention, this deck and the Revengers I did a little while back. They're both decks I'm actually really good with. Because I know a lot about them. I use them a lot. I learn with them. I've made mistakes with them quite a bit, and I've changed it up, tried different things, and you know that's really how you learn the most from it. I mean, I didn't really start playing them both from day one, but I've learned a lot about them, and I really understand how they work now. I remember I used to only be able to use Oracle Think Tank right, and that was it. Now I've kind of expanded more. So from once I started Vanguard, and I'm quite happy about it. I'm quite good with, you know, the End. I'm quite good with Descendant. I'm quite good with Abyss. I'm quite good with the Raging Form of Dragon, the overpowered boss monster. And then there's this deck. There's Coco. There's Fortuna. I'm good with quite a few decks now, and I feel like I can really do the deck profiles on them because now I really know the deck and I know it's good. The End, I do want to update its deck profile, and I do kind of need to update Fortuna as well. I basically all the deck profiles I've already done before this, except for Revengers, because Revengers I don't need to update. But all the deck profiles I've already done, they all need to be updated, and I will get to that. Probably after this one will be when I do that. Anywho's, enough batting. Sorry, enough babbling on. Let's get started. So, starting Vanguard, Prism-Smile, Coro. I'd recommend this, the best one. Weddle's alright, but you can't really do much with her in this deck. So, Coro is just good for the way the deck works. You want a big hand. So, her skill is, when a Bermuda Triangle is returned to your hand from rearguard, you can return this card to your hand. So it's very helpful, gives you another 10k shield in hand, and just, you become a monster. You become like a impenetrable wall. It's quite ridiculous actually. It's quite ridiculous actually. But yeah, it's a very good deck. I love it, and she helps it so much. So anywho, let's move on. So we got 4 Eternal Idol Pacifica. So she's the I guess the avatar of the deck. But what she does is Limit Break 4, Counterblast 3 when this unit attacks a Vanguard. You may pay the cost. If you do, you choose 2 Bermuda Triangle rearguards, return them to your hand, and Superior Call 1 from the deck. And obviously its other skill is if you have Top Idol Pacifica in your soul, gets power plus 2000, but I don't really use it in this deck because I find it works a lot better without her. It's a little grade 3 heavy if you try to play her with the Breakride, and I say the Breakride is just so much better. It's helpful, and she's the only Eternal Idol Pacifica is the only counterblast, so if you do get to heal, use the second limit break. Yeah. But yeah, that's basically it about her. So now we have 4 Prism Image Vert. So Limit Break 4, when a Bermuda Triangle rides it, you get to draw a card, and then you choose 2 of your Bermuda Triangle rearguards and return them to your hand. And then your Vanguard gets power plus 10,000. So basically, you get a +1, and then you get to reorganize 2 of your cards. So if you only had 2 other cards on the field, and then Coro, you basically reorganize your whole field. So it's nice. You probably have an 11k beat stick, like a Vert or something, or a Rose. But yeah, it's a really good card. This Breakride's really good, and it makes you quite a defensive wall, and it really adds on your pressure too. Uh, Obviously, I meant the deck for that part, so I'm just gonna, yeah. Never mind. Okay, so we have on to grade twos. Sorry. So we have 4 Prism Image Rose. So basically, she's the 11k beat stick. So when it attacks, if you have a Bermuda Triangle Vanguard or Rear Guard that has Limit Break 4, it gets power plus 3000. So it's your 11k beat stick. I know there's one in like BT16 or something that's like for Perla, for the Perlas. I mean, not Perlas. Sorry, Pacificas. That's a 12k beat stick, but I say Rose is much better for this deck because of how it works. Because you want to play the Breakride in Eternal Idol. Um, but yeah, it's really handy. Your 11k beat sticks, 12k beat sticks, always really helpful, and you always need them. Um, so yeah, she just can't hit MLB like 12k beat sticks can. MLB is still pretty effective, but she just can't do it. That's okay though. She can do most things. She can do most things. But yeah, there's not much to say about it. 11k beat stick, really important. That's that. And then we have 4 Prism Promise Celtic. Um, Not 4, sorry. I meant to say 3 Prism Promise Celtic. The reason I play 3 of her is because you don't use her too much. You kind of just want her for the Breakride and Eternal Idol's Limit Break. So you don't need them too much, and they're not even the preferred ride anyways. Rose, obviously isn't her preferred ride. But yeah, you don't want her too much, so all that she does is Soul Blast 1 when it's returned to your hand from when this unit's returned to your hand from rear guard. If you may pay the cost. If you do, you choose another one of your Bermudas, and it gets power plus 4000. So you can even give it to Eternal Idol, and backed up with the Sedna that makes 21. 21. So sorry, not 21. 23. So you can even make Eternal hit cross rides. So it's kind of handy actually. Uh, but yeah, she's helpful only for later on in the game. Not really helpful for early on. I mean, she can if you can combo her with Perla properly, but other than that, not really. She can just make a 7k and 11k beat stick if they have a 6k Vanguard. If you want to try and do that, if you have them in the front row. So like you attack with Celtic, then you attack with your Vanguard, get the Soul Blast, and then use the 7k as a beat stick for 11. But yeah, she's not that good early on. She's better late game. So she's a late game unit. What is this, League of Legends? And then finally we got 4 Pearl Sisters Perla. So Perla is your preferred ride, because you want to try and get that early pressure in for the Soul Blast to return a card to your hand. So what you want to try and do is, call a rear guard grade 1 or grade 2 and try to use them to hit the Vanguard first. Then use Perla to hit the Vanguard, and make them drop a card, like drop a shield. So if you get that Soul Blast off, you basically return your rear guard grade 2 or grade 1 that's in the front row that you attacked with first. Then you return Coro as well because of it. So at the beginning of the game, you've already gotten a huge hand, and you've already gotten nice pressure. So it's nice to ride her, and she's the preferred ride because of it, because of that early pressure. Even using the Soul Blast just to return Coro to hand helps too. I wouldn't recommend using it on Coro though, because she returns to hand if something else does. So that's why you want to throw down a grade 1 or a grade 2 and get them to attack first, and then go with Perla boosted by Coro to try and get them both back to hand by just Soul Blasting 1. So yeah, that's why she's the preferred ride. I think everybody understands it. I know there's a Prism, Perfect Guard under grade 1s obviously, but it's not out yet. So For Mermaid Idol, Elly, the new fancy perfect guard, because this new art is awesome. I love the new art of the perfect guards. I think they're awesome. But yeah, just 4 of them. That's it. And then 2 Mermaid Idol Felucia. Oh, voice crack. Hello. Um, Actually, me and my cousin make a joke. We call her, me and Jay Huff. We call her Big Tits. Like whenever we call her Ryder, just because she's like, you know why. I don't need to explain it. Just look at the card. You know why. It's just a funny joke we have. So you want her in the deck because when she's placed on Vanguard or Rearguard, if you have Bermuda China Vanguard, you soul charge 1. So you just want 2 of them in the deck. The reason being is you don't really need to soul charge too much because you're already going to have your grade 1 in the soul, your grade 2 in the soul, your Vert in the soul. So that's 3. Then you want to get like 1 soul charge off. So that's why you only need 2. So that makes 4 in the soul. So you can try to pressure with Perla. You won't get too many off, obviously. So that's why you only need 4 in the soul, or like 3 in the soul. And then you can use Celtic skill, but you don't use it too much. So that's why you don't need too much soul, but you do need a bit because you're still gonna have to soul blast a bit, or else you really can't threaten with it. But that's why you only play 2 Felucia. She's helpful still. She's still very helpful with the deck, even though you don't need too much soul charging. You still need 2 of her. And yeah, that's enough said. And then we got 2 8K beats 8K vanillas, Mermaid Idol Sednas. Reason I play 2 is because, as I said, with the Eternal Idol, she can swing in for cross rides if you get a Soul Blast. Also, I thought about it, and say you have Perla or Celtic on the rearguard circle, and you return. Say you have Perla on the rearguard circle, and Perle is behind her, so that's 7K, or Felucia, because we already saw Felucia. So 9K and 7K, 16. So if Celtic returns to your hand and you Soul Blast and add the power, it's not going to make much of a difference because that's 20K, and most of the time 20K is nothing. You'd want 21. So the reason I play 2 Sednas is because I want it in one of the columns. I just want 1 in one of the columns. Either depending if they have a cross ride. So then if they have a cross ride, I want it behind my Vanguard. If they don't, I want it behind my Perla, because what it does to the deck is it helps add on the pressure and drop out more shield because, yeah, I just said 7 plus 9, 16, plus 4, 20. Add that 1 more K, 21. You can pressure now because Vanguards, a lot of Vanguards right now are at 11K. So with that kind of meta, everybody uses 11K Vanguards now a lot. So with that, you want to be hitting for, more, 21, and you want to pressure out as much as you can in the hand. So she really helps with the deck, I find. I might play 3 of her. I've been thinking of switching up a card, playing 3 of her, and then 1 of the other card, but I'm not 100% sure. I guess it's your decision too. I'll let you guys know, if I ever update the deck. I don't think I'll update this deck really because this deck is really awesome as is, and just destroys. But yeah, so next up, 2 Prism Image Clear. Now I've been thinking of playing 1 of these and 3 Sednas, as I said. 2 Prism, just playing 1 Clear and then 3 Sednas, because most of the time I use Celtic skill and I don't have to use clears. I mean, there is that odd time I do have to use clears, which is why I feel like I need to play 2. But at the same time, I feel like I should only play 1. So it's a hard decision. You can kind of, test both, see what you like better. But she's basically a Celtic clone, so blast 1, when it's returned to hand, add 4,000 to one of your Bermuda Triangle rear guards. So, she works well with the deck still. Returning 2 cards to hand if you have her and Celtic in the same column, and return them both to hand. You Soul Blast 2. Say I have Perla and Sedna in the other rearguard column, and then Perle behind the Vanguard, and Eternal as the Vanguard. So you Soul Blast one, 4,000 to Vanguard, Soul Blast another for clear when they both return to hand, obviously, and you got 4,000 to Perla. So now you have your Vanguard and your rearguard swinging for 21, and you Superior Call Rose also pressuring. So it's nice. It's why I still feel like I should play 2 clears, because a column like that is not fun to mess with. But at the same time, I'm not sure. I think, actually, after thinking about how that works, with the added on pressure about Soul Blasting 2 and, powering up the Vanguard and Rearguard, I think 2 is good with Sedna in this deck. Before I put Sedna back in, I had 3 clears and 3 Felucias, and I was even thinking of bumping down the clears because they wouldn't help, because I'd use Celtic, but then that's it. The clears wouldn't make any difference. So now with Sedna in the deck, clear can be used with Celtic, and they could both use their Soul Blast to just pressure so hard. So yeah, you know what? Yeah, two clear, 2 Sedna. I don't think I'm changing it. The only thing I would change would probably be minus a Felucia, but you still really need the Felucia, so you can't. You gotta play 2 of all 3 of these. You gotta play 2 Felucia, you gotta play 2 Sedna, you gotta play 2 clear. It helps the best for the deck. It helps the deck the best to kind of even it out, and because you can't not get Felucia. You need at least 1 Felucia, so that's why you play 2. You want at least 1 clear. That's why you play 2. You want at least 1 Sedna. That's why you play 2. So yeah, you kind of want to pull them. Obviously, you can't really. I mean, you could kind of change it up a little bit, but yeah. Anywho, sorry about that. I talked a little bit about this. So we got 4 Pearl Sisters Perle. Now, I guess this is the card you could knock down. You could knock this down to 3 and add another Sedna. It's possible, but the reason you want to play 4 Perle is to pressure even harder, because you want Perle and Perla combo as much as you can, because what she does is, if you have a Perla, when this card is placed on rearguard, if you have a Bermuda Triangle and Vanguard, you choose a card named Pearl Sisters Perla. It gets, when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, Soul Charge 1 and draw a card. So she helps with the Soul Charging, and you also get to draw a card. So say that early on game that I was talking about with Perla as the Vanguard and Coro behind it. If they're at grade 1, you call Perle in rearguard, you swing with Perle first, and then you go with Perla. So if that attack hits, you return Coro, Perle back to hand. You basically don't lose anything in the soul because you Soul Blast 1, but then you get the Soul Charge 1, and you draw a card. It's very threatening. That's why I try to get it. That's why I have 4 in the deck, because it's very important to get this card early on, because it's most effective early game. It's harder to pull off later game, but they kind of have to guard it every time it happens. So you want to get this card as often as possible, which is why I play 4. You could play 3 and 3 Sedna. It's a possibility. I just think 4 is better of this. I mean, obviously, if I update this and I say, hey, I tried it out, and 3 Perle and 3 Sedna is better, then that's my decision when it happens. But for now, I'd say this is appropriate, because you really want to try to get this right away. So yeah, that's about it for that. So on to the triggers. So we have 4 Draw, 4 Cooking Caspi. I think the Cooking Caspi looks pretty nice. I don't know why. I don't really like any of the other draw triggers, so I use her. And then 4 Gunslinger Star Florida, critical. And then 4 Miracle Canaria, Prism Miracle Canaria. I like the Prism trigger. I don't really like the other critical trigger anyways. And then 4 Prism Miracle Timor. You could play the Quartet one, but this is just more preferred because if you get to return it to hand, you want to have that 5k boost, not 4k. So, yeah, 8 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal. I've tried 12 crit with the deck. I think that's when the deck was a little older too, but like it's not when it wasn't like this. I've tried 12 crit with the deck, but it doesn't work as effectively because you want to have that huge hand advantage. So you want to have 4 draw. The way this deck works is just hand dominance to the max. And with the 4 draw, you end up having like 15 cards in hand where they're sitting at 5. So, yeah. The draw is very, very helpful in this deck. Just because of how it works. Anywho's, yeah. Where's the Who at? You know, Doctor Who. Anywho's. Who 1 and Who 2. But yeah, so that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. Remember to like and comment. Again, it took like 21 minutes. Oh, God. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. And, yeah, I apologize about these long ones, but, you know, I start talking about it. Again, I'm going to give it a shot with 3 Sedna and 3 Perle, see how it works. But I still recommend the 4 Perle, because you want to try that early game pressure. That's the biggest reason for the 4 Perle. And anyways, it's most likely you'll get a Sedna. So, yeah. And hey, you know what? If bad luck happens and it goes to the damage zone, good luck could happen and you get a Sedna, right? You get the other Sedna. So, yeah. It all depends. But yeah, that's about it. See you guys next time. Bye.